I'm Jenny Gage, and this is Life Take Two. Hey, everybody, welcome to Life Take Two. I'm Jenny Gage. I know there's a lot of great stuff out there on YouTube, and I always appreciate you stopping on one of my videos. Since we're talking about Erika and JD sitting in a tree, KISSING, I thought I'd address my hair really quick. I dramatically chopped and thinned it out about a week and a half ago, and I told you that I had a story behind it. It's not really a story. It was just a brief moment of, I don't know, passion and annoyance. I'm just sick to death of people telling me that I still look MAGA and asking why I have Republican hair. And since the Charlie Kirk tragedy, now I have people telling me that I look like Erika Kirk or that I could be her older sister. So this comment right here, that I am Erika Kirk's doppelganger, finally made me snap, and I just chopped it all off. And now I use every ounce of self-control that I have every day not to take out my hot plates and do the Utah wave that has been my hairdo for so many years. So there you go. At the end of last week, Erika Kirk took her massive poly-religious platform, Turning Point USA, on the road to Ole Miss. And her message of one nation under God and freedom through Jesus and family was immediately drowned out in the backlash caused by what looks like a love story being played out on camera between Erika and Vice President JD Vance. I've watched the footage like 40 times in preparation for this video, and I have to say, the first time through, my jaw just dropped. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The way Erika said his name and gushed about how much she loved him, the hug, the fingers in his hair, pulling his face towards hers with her hands at the back of his neck. It looked like we were watching someone's wedding video, or like a couple had just posted to Instagram about their engagement. Like, that's the vibe that it gave me. Immediately, the moment went viral as posts spread across the world saying things like, "They're definitely effing." There's a lot of just basic stuff like that. I liked this one. "Black Widow snags the VP," and "Hillbilly Vance got cold-played." Things like that. With creators and reporters talking about everything from an imminent JD and Usha divorce, wild and unfounded theories casting Erika as an Israeli spy, conspiracy allegations around the tragic death of Charlie, and more. I'm sure that all of you have seen these. My inboxes were slammed with DMs from all over the place. Even my teenagers were talking about it. And that's when I know that something is a big deal. So today, I'm going to share a few things you definitely don't already know about the all-American widow, Erika Kirk. I'm going to connect some dots and tell you what I think is going on. First up, let me play for you the infamous video of the moment in question.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight, because he understands the fight that we're up against, and he can articulate that in a way that transcends race, that transcends demographic backgrounds. He's an amazing man. So please help me welcome to the stage Vice President JD Vance.
Join me in welcoming JD Vance, everybody.
Let's talk about a few things people are going bonkers about. Number one, people are talking about, why is this widow wearing black leather pants? That seems super sexy. Now, the answer to that from all of my research is that it's just part of Erika's personal style and branding. And as someone who's also a lifelong Phoenician, it's just such a Scottsdale thing. Like, it's a really common look. I don't spend a lot of time outside of Arizona, so I don't know if this is a look in other places. But these are photos of Erika in black leather going back years. Black leather seems to be a favorite wardrobe piece of hers. She uses it a lot. And I actually really like the look. You know, it's very different than just like a classic trouser, which can look kind of boring and businessy. Some of my more street rock, Christian-y type of friends wear a lot of leather. Number two thing that people are talking about a lot is the lover's embrace, of course. It's very intimate. Her fingers are in Vice President Vance's hair. The way that she pulls him close, and his hand placement to me too, like, this is the main topic of conversation. Let's take a look at Erika hugging President Trump. Weird moment, the way she rests her face on his shirt. They're both kind of awkward there, like they've never hugged before. He doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know what to do. He just kind of pats her. It's almost like with all the Epstein talk, he's afraid to touch Erika Kirk at all, especially with all those cameras on him. This is very different than the hug we saw with Vice President Vance. And here's what got me. It's like how she hugged her late husband, minus a kiss on the lips. And here's an old boyfriend from her socials that I pulled from way, way, way back when. Very similar. So here's two other men that she's been in relationships with, and she's locked in the same sort of embrace as what we just saw on stage with Vice President Vance. All right, number three thing that people are going bonkers about is the way she introduces him. The words that she uses. That whole line about, I see my husband in JD. It's not just what she says, it's also just the name JD. The way she says his name is so cute. Go back and listen. It's how I call Kevin Kev. Like, I always say his name like Kev. You know, it's never Kev. That's how Erika says JD. I say his name so goofy that my teenagers get mad. Then she corrects herself. I mean, I see my late husband in Vice President J.D. Vance. And my God, then she just gushes over him. I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight. He's such an amazing man. And here's what she didn't say, and this is important throughout this discussion. It's not just what she did, it's what she could have and probably should have done instead. She didn't say, he's an amazing vice president. He's an amazing leader. This is personal. He's an amazing man. The look on her face when she introduces him, it is pure, raw joy. Her facial expression to me was almost more inappropriate than the actual hug. And again, it's like the facial expression that I have when I'm out on a date with Kev and we snap a selfie. I'm always so goofy in my pictures. This is the look of I love this man. Erika's radiating pure raw joy. So let's compare what we just saw with Erika and JD Vance to Erika introducing her late husband, Charlie.
He knows who and what he fights for, and that is God, it's his family, and it's country. I want to introduce you guys to my husband, Charlie Kirk.
It's pretty much exactly the same. The number four thing that people are going bonkers over is Vance. He's very intimate. He's very loving. Here's what he said about Erika.
Let me say a few words of thank you first to my dear friend and the widow of my dear friend Charlie Kirk. Erika, you have been such an amazing inspiration to the entire country. How much do we love Erika Kirk? She's done a hell of a job.
So everyone's been going bonkers about this, but I have to say This has been going on from the start. As soon as Charlie Kirk was tragically killed and we started to see Erika and we started to see JD Vance, this was already happening. Here's Charlie's memorial in my home state here.
Because he's been taken from us. He's been taken from his parents and from his sister. He's been taken from our darling Erika and their beautiful children. And Erika, I know I speak for this entire auditorium when I say that we love you and we will never stop standing by your side, just as Charlie did.
I don't even know what to think about this. Here's the part to pay attention to here. We will be by her side exactly like Charlie was. That sounds so sweet and supportive when he says we. But change that to first person. Flip the we to I. I will be by her side. I will be Charlie. Imagine if Vice President Vance had said that just privately in a one-on-one, like talking to a reporter or a friend. I will be by Erika's side. I will be like Charlie. It made me think about her first public statement after Charlie's death and how she crushed on Vance then, too.
I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well bringing him home. You both are tremendous.
A dear friend and his wife. She didn't shout out her mom, Lori Franzfa, who's watched her children and been there for her. There are a bunch of people that she didn't say anything about. She didn't mention Melania Trump the way she mentioned Usha Vance. It's like Melania doesn't even exist. Remember, it was VP Vance who flew to Salt Lake City to be there for Erika and to fly Charlie's body with her and Usha back home here to Sky Harbor for his Phoenix memorial and burial. There's something that just jumps out to me, which is just reading between the lines, but here we go. And I say this as a woman who was cheated on without knowing it for 2 decades. Now I look back and I can see the things I didn't see, The way Vice President Vance keeps his distance. This is Erika receiving the medal. She's crying, and it's Usha who's putting her arm around her. And Vice President Vance is like super far away over here, right? Walking down the stairs of the airplane as they flew in with Charlie's body. And again, it's Usha who's right there with Erika. That doesn't make sense to me because if he's such a good friend, how come he's looking away while she's sitting there crying? Erika always says, my friend JD and his wife, but what we usually see on camera is the wife. It's almost like Vice President Vance is trying to hide his feelings, which my ex, Stinky Jake, told me he had to focus on all the time to keep me from suspecting. Jake called it his happy husband poker face. That's what he told me after I caught the double life. I was like, how did I never suspect? And he said, oh, I was just really good at the happy husband poker face. And he was. So there's a lot here. And people are analyzing this and saying that they're having an affair. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think Erika is thinking future, not past, not something that's already happened, a fling that they've already had. Erika is now free. She had this 4-year marriage that she thought was going to be lifelong. It ended very abruptly. She is the most eligible single blonde MAGA mama on the planet. She's a rich, hot, former beauty queen with a head full of golden extensions who has just taken the executive role of one of the most powerful political machines in America. She's hardworking, she's Jesus-y, and she has a massive cult of her own. As MAGA crumbles in the middle of this government shutdown, Turning Point has unmatched power. I mean, it's the biggest cult in America right now. I think it's probably bigger than the Mormon church that I came from. And it's gaining members daily. They have massive crowds turning out. I'm just saying, if I was a vice president or any red-blooded, aspirational, white Christian American man right now, I would have my eye on Erika Kirk. Erika's a woman on a mission. She's worked hard to be where she is right now. She has a good life, and there's no way that Vice President Vance isn't paying attention to this. And then Erika's perspective, I know that there's a video that's gone around where she says that I will never marry again. I'm just going to be a widow and run Turning Point the rest of my life. That is absolutely AI. Erika never said that. She's never made a statement saying that she wouldn't remarry again. And just based on all of the content that she has put out in her podcast, in her Bible in 365, and all the other stuff that she does, marriage is a big deal to her. I think she's going to want to get married again. She already has a good life, despite the tragedy. And Erika has a nice house. It's huge. It's a mansion. But what if? What if she could combine forces with somebody who could catapult her into the White House? There's talk about her running as VP someday. She has to know that her popularity may not translate to electability. She may not want to be VP. Erika is Erika's most valuable commodity. She's Jackie Kennedy after the Kennedy assassination, and I believe she's going to go for broke. Let's talk about JD's private life for just a minute, because a lot of it's out there in the public. A close friend of JD and Usha from Yale called their relationship extremely unlikely, almost opposites of personality. JD and Usha had a mixed faith wedding where a Hindu pundit blessed the couple and a Catholic friend read from the Bible so that they could cater to both of their beliefs. They've been married a long time. Those of you who've been married a long time, my first marriage was 24 years. Even if it's not a bad marriage, it can just get kind of tired, They've been under a lot of stress and marriages get stale. Half of my friends are divorced, and we don't know. Maybe they're still wildly in love, but maybe they aren't. But whether they are or whether they aren't, Usha is a problem in a MAGA world. Usha isn't popular on the right. She isn't a beauty queen. She was registered as an independent. She was registered as a Democrat until 2022. She isn't flashy. She isn't Christian. And she isn't the leader of a cult like Erika is. Usha Vance is a background character. Erika Kirk is a rock star. Usha is more like Kamala Harris than she is like the typical MAGA woman, and Republicans hate Kamala. Both Usha and Kamala are the opposite of all that MAGA holds holy in the MAGA wifey, standing radiantly by her husband's side. Here's some similarities. They both represent new archetypes of American womanhood, which I love, but I'm no longer MAGA. They're both women of color and intellect who marry power, not for dependency, not like Melania, who never had to work a day the rest of her life. No, they didn't marry these men for dependency. They married for partnership. And they have very similar educational and professional pedigrees too. Usha and Kamala don't have the homemaker wifey aesthetic. They're both highly educated lawyers with elite credentials. Here's the comparison. Usha Vance, Yale Law School graduate, clerked for Chief Justice John Roberts and Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Kamala Harris, of course, UC Hastings College of Law graduate, served as District Attorney of San Francisco, then Attorney General of California. Neither woman has that Sydney Sweeney, all-American, blonde, freckly girl next door vibe that the MAGA creeps go crazy for. Both come from immigrant backgrounds that shaped their outlooks. Usha was born to Indian immigrant parents from Andhra Pradesh. Kamala is the daughter of Indian and Jamaican immigrants. Each of these women embodies a second-generation American success story, often cited as proof of upward mobility through education and service. Neither are the classic daughters of the Revolution-style basic white woman of like pilgrim ancestry that MAGA falls down and worships. And like I say, both Usha and Kamala were Democrats. And I just got to say that as a former MAGA girly turned woke, democratic, liberal, atheist, feminist, all this stuff, Usha's the only person in the Republican Party that I like. Like, I love her. I spent a lot of time just like reading up on who she was, because after Trump was elected, it's like, well, at least I have hope that Usha's there. And that is not a good thing for Usha, that the left likes her at all. Here's the picture, Erika Kirk. Whether or not that vibe is a big part of her power. Imagine if JD had been assassinated, not Charlie. Would Usha, as a grieving widow, draw the crowds, the support, the cult-like obsessiveness that Erika does? I don't think so, but I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. That leads me to the other bit of last week that's causing controversy for JD, what he said about his wife, Usha.
My wife did not grow up Christian. I think it's fair to say that she grew up in a Hindu family, but not a particularly religious family in either direction. Now, most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her, and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way. But if she doesn't, then God says everybody has free will, and so that doesn't cause a problem for me. That's something you work out with your friends, with your family, with the person that you love.
Come on, what's going on? Let's just back up a minute to the beginning of all of this. Erika, the brand new widow, all smiles and no outward signs of grief. This is where things got weird. Here's a picture of me after I lost my husband to a 19-year-old escort that ended our 24-year marriage. Jake was an asshole. He's a freak. And after our marriage ended very abruptly, I did not get out of bed or eat for 4 days. A friend had to get me up and make me take a shower. I was so dehydrated. My pee was brown. 7 weeks later, I would try to end my life. That's why I'm called Life Take 2. I know people grieve differently, but this shit is weird. The way she talks about JD and his wife, Usha, I feel like she's going out of her way to make sure she talks about Usha. Like she's trying way too hard. She just wants to say, my friend JD, he's the most amazing man in the world. He's the only man that's, God, he like reminds me a little bit of Charlie. She doesn't want to have to say Usha. I don't think she actually likes Usha. So what does it all mean? What are we supposed to take out of this? Here's what I think. I don't think they're banging. Erika has been a spokeswoman for no sex outside of marriage. And I don't believe that's just lip service. Both Erika and Vice President Vance have far too much to lose if any evidence of an affair were to be leaked. Usha catches one spicy text on Vice President Vance's phone, leaks it to CNN. Both of their careers are over. Charlie's legacy is tainted forever. MAGA implodes. Trump has them both thrown in jail or has ICE deport them to Siberia where his bestie Putin can keep them locked up in an igloo or something. I don't even know. I do not think Erika and JD are star-crossed lovers at the moment. I do not think that they have had or are currently carrying on an affair. And I personally have a problem with so many people accusing her of sleeping with someone when that is everything that she has ever stood against. Everyone just assumes that the woman is always sleeping her way to the top. I hate that. A lot of women don't sleep their way to the top. And I think that sex is probably the last thing she's thinking about right now. But I do think they're attracted to each other and possibly in love. And I think they both see the obvious, that combining forces would be electric. They would be the ultimate power couple if they did everything right. I think Erika is in love with JD, and I think it's mutual. It is possible that this turning point event was a soft launch of their future relationship, that it was more intentional than not. They could be testing the waters. Vice President Vance paved a path for the need to divorce Usha righteously if she doesn't convert to Christianity. Now, I think they're delusional, and I don't think it'll work. But I also didn't think a man who is best friends with the most famous pedo in recent history could win back the White House, and he did. So I saved space for the fact that I could be wrong, and maybe I'm wrong about everything. They could be carrying on a torrid affair in the back seat of the armored Escalades. It is always the best friend, isn't it? Like all of my actual real life friends who've had affairs, it's always the guy next door, the girl next door, whatever. And honestly, sometimes throughout this whole entire widowhood thing, Erika has given me Scott Peterson after Lacey went missing vibes with the big smile and the detachment from the whole situation. Like, I don't know, maybe there's something to that. Maybe the conspiracy quacks and Candace Owens and my neighbor lady are right about the whole thing, but I doubt it. These are controlled, strategic individuals. And I think that if what I think is true, that there's an attraction between these two that they can't resist and that they're both maybe hoping to explore, I think they'll carefully, slowly use it to both of their advantage, not to their ruin. I guess we'll have to see. I'd love to hear what you all think. Drop your comments and please hit that like and subscribe button for me. I'll be hanging out in the comment section. Thanks, everybody. Bye.